Hey guys, welcome to another review. Welcome to my review for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Yes, this movie stars Anthony Ramos, Peter Cullen, Peter Dinklage, Pete Davidson, Ron Perlman, and Michelle Yeoh, and a bunch of other actors. And this movie is directed by Stephen Cable Jr., the guy who did Creed 2. And this is more of a sequel to Bumblebee than an installment of the Transformers movie saga. Because according to this movie, I don't think the Michael Bay universe is canon now. Some people say it is. It doesn't make sense after watching this movie. I'm like, okay, the Michael Bay movies are clearly not canon now, but whatever. This is the Transformers movie people were really looking forward to because it was bringing in the Maximals and the Decepticons, that Beast Wars stuff, because that's the stuff I grew up with. Because this is a 2023 movie, but it's a 90s movie. And I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 91, and I grew up with Beast Wars and Beast Machines and stuff. That was my Transformers. I didn't grow up in the 80s with Transformers. I grew up in the 90s with Beast Wars and Beast Machines. And think about Transformers. It's something I'm just not a fan of. When I was a kid, I loved Beast Wars, Beast Machines. I had the toys and did the transforming with the toys and stuff. But I grew out of it. It didn't stay with me as an adult. Like Dragon Ball Z, loved it as a kid, still love it now. Yu-Gi-Oh, I loved it as a kid. I still have a huge soft spot for it. Even like Star Wars and stuff. I grew up with it, but I still have a lot of love for it. Transformers is like Pokemon for me. Like I grew up. I liked it as a kid, but I just don't really have a love for it. As I got older, I grew out of it, and I just didn't give a shit about it. And I don't know, that's just how I always felt with Transformers. I never liked really any of the Transformers movies, the Michael Bay ones, and even the '80s animated one. I thought like it's just okay. I know dire Transformers fans love that movie, which is great. But I'm not a Transformers fan, so it's just kind of like a meh movie. The only Transformers movie I really loved or just really enjoyed was Bumblebee because it was a good character study between this machine and this young girl and the connection they have with each other. It wasn't even really just about Transformers. It was just about this friendship. And that's what I liked about it. It almost reminded me of like Wall-E and stuff. I really enjoyed that movie. This one gets back to the Transformers, though. The action, the machines, and all the characters from the shows and stuff, which is fine for Transformers fans. I had to watch it because I wanted to see, because I've seen all the movies, so I'm like, well, I want to see where this holds up in the Transformers movies. And to me, it's not very good, but it's an entertaining Transformers movie. And I think if you're a diehard fan of the Transformers, I think you're going to love this. I think this is a movie you guys have been waiting for. For me, as a person who grew up with Transformers but doesn't give a shit about Transformers, I could give two shits about this movie. Really, if this was a straight Beast Wars movie, maybe I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Because the Beast Wars, the Maximals, the Decepticons don't get a lot of screen time because, again, they focus on the fucking boring ass human characters. That's what I hate about these live action Transformers movies. They focus on the fucking humans, and I don't give a shit about focusing on the humans. Haley Steinfeld was the only character I liked in any of these Transformers movies, and it's because of her connection with Bumblebee. But I don't care about these human characters. I don't care about Anthony Ramos or Mark Wahlberg or Shia LaBeouf. I don't give two fucks about them. And yeah, and even the new Transformers they bring, I don't care. Pete Davidson as Mirage, who gives a shit? I wanted to see the Beast Wars, the Beasties. Come on now. And you got Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal, which is great. But the Beast Wars don't even get a lot of screen time other than Optimus Primal. But Cheetor gets no lines. What's his name? Rat Trap is not in the movie. And I'm trying to remember all their fucking names. I forget all their damn names. The Dinobot, and the rhinoceros guy. What's his name? The Rhino dude. I don't think he says a fucking thing in the movie. And then there's Black Arachnia, Scorponok, and all that shit. None of them get a lot of screen time, other than Optimus Primal gets the most. And like I get what they're doing. They're taking the Beast Wars, and like it's like a team up with them and the Transformers teaming up together to defeat this evil villain. And like on paper, that sounds great, but I don't know. I just didn't think it was that enjoyable, and I even like the whole third act is like the typical Transformers action, and I could barely see what was going on. It felt like the Michael Bay movies again. Like I think the human characters were a lot less annoying in this movie than the Bay movies, but. And I would say in the beginning of this movie, it starts out pretty badass, and in the middle of the movie, there's a pretty sweet ass action scene with the Beast Wars, but the whole third act is like so much machine blowing up, and I couldn't even tell who was who and who was dying and what was going on. It felt like the Bay movies again. Less shaky cam, but there was just so much CGI robot metal and scraps and explosions. I could barely tell what I couldn't even comprehend what was happening because so much shit was being thrown at the screen and stuff. And just, I don't know, some people really like that shit. I was not into it. I want more deeper connection with the characters and action scenes that I can actually look at and really enjoy the craft of it. This was just a lot of guns and shooting and scrap metal and blowing up, and I don't know. I love the soundtrack because this is like a '90s soundtrack movie, and I love '90s music, and there's a lot of great tunes in this movie, which is cool. And I can tell this director is a lot more competent than Michael Bay. But again, like this should have just been a Beast Wars movie. It literally should have been, and it should have just been a Transformers movie with no humans. I don't know why they keep on putting humans in these Transformers movies. They don't really add a lot to it, and they just kind of take away from what people want to see, which is Transformers and them interacting with each other and the kick-ass action sequences. And there's a couple cool kick-ass action sequences, but there's also a lot of hard to look at action scenes that I don't know what's happening. I was just underwhelmed. In the movie's about like 2 hours and 13 minutes, and I felt it. I really did. Again, it didn't annoy me. It didn't put me to sleep like the Bay movies did. Like, oh god, when I watched The Last Night, was that stupid Bay one? Oh god, that was agonizing to sit through. This one, like, again, I had a couple moments, had a few chuckles here and there. There was some things I enjoyed, but it didn't do anything for me. And I think this movie, this movie is made for hardcore, diehard Beast Wars Transformers fans. I think they're gonna enjoy it because when I saw it, people were cheering, and when characters were coming on screen, people were like, "Yes!" I guess this is just not. It's not for me. I wanted to see it because I wanted to see where it like landed in the Transformers movies, but I guess Bumblebee's the only one I'm enjoying because this one is not a recommendation for me. That's only for someone who isn't a Transformers fan. This movie will not make you a fan of Transformers. Bumblebee almost did, but this one won't. But if you're a diehard Transformers fan, check it out. You'll probably have fun with it. Scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give Transformers: Rise of the Beasts 5 out of 10. Just middle of the road for me. So yeah, comment below, let me know who is your favorite Beast Wars character. Mine was always Cheetor, and I was so disappointed seeing him in this movie, but who's your favorite Beast Wars character? Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.